as ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
It's 4 o'clock local time in Nigeria. Welcome to CoreTV News on the air. I am Frank Omalapia. Here are some of the stories filing in at this time. Key players in Nigeria's private sector are convinced that the Presidential Jobs Board could create millions of jobs annually. This is in response to the challenge thrown by President Goodluck Jonathan at the inauguration of the 31-member board. The president described the board as a special purpose vehicle, and already its leadership believe that the transformation agenda has paved way for the realization of the goal.
So there are three things. One is, I like what Mr. President said, that every Nigerian deserves the dignity to work. And that dignity comes from when you're able to take care of your family, make sure that you cater for your needs. And what Mr. President has done is in line with what is done everywhere in the world. Recently, United Nations launched a new MDG for the next 15 years, and they are partnering with the private sector. So to us in the private sector, we're encouraged by this. Second point is seeing the transformation efforts of this government in almost all sectors: power, ICT, mortgage sector, housing mortgage sector, oil and gas sector. We're encouraged that to create 3 million jobs will not be too difficult. Kenya created over 700,000 jobs in 1 year. Kenya is a quarter the size of our population. We can do that. What has encouraged us as private sector to be part of this is, as I said before, the transformation initiatives of this government. And it's interesting that we have the Honorable Minister of Petroleum here, who is key to this transformation from point of view of gas that we need for the power sector, from point of view of the digitization and encouragement of local Nigerian players in the oil and gas sector that to a large extent before never happened. We're encouraged that all of these initiatives going on will help.
President Goodluck Jonathan has ordered the immediate removal or bring back Jonathan banners and posters being used by some of his supporters to drum up support for his yet undeclared second-term bid. The directive, contained in a statement by the presidential spokesperson Ruben Abati, followed local and international condemnation of the campaign slogan. Abati argued that the slogan, which critics describe as a parody of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, was used without President Jonathan's consent. And now, Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko maintained that he would back President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term whenever he declares his intention. He made this known during a chat with journalists after the party's National Executive Council meeting in Abuja.
Is it true that you are going to defect or you're defecting something?
If I'm going to defect, it won't be rumors. It will be clear, it will be stated, and the reasons will be given.
Has the president declared that he's going to run?
If Jonathan is going to run, I guess he's going to run, I will support him.
Why Labour Party has denied that Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko is dumping it for the People's Democratic Party. Outgoing party chairman Dan Nwayawu told journalists after the National Executive Council meeting in Abuja that the governor remains committed to the party ideals. He also disclosed that a new national executive will emerge on October, but insists he won't be standing.
At least you have seen Governor Olusegun Mimiko in the National Executive Council meeting of the party. As I'm talking to you, Governor Mimiko is still a bona fide member of the Labour Party. And that is why he's here. So all other rumors you are hearing, we don't have to base our contributions on speculation. And you should not anticipate somebody. So he is here as a NEC member. We have discussed everything concerning our party, and you can see that he's sitting here live and direct.
The Independent National Electoral Commission says it will establish additional 30,000 polling units across the country. This, according to INEC Chairman Atahiru Jega, will push up the number of polling units in the country to 150,000. He explained at a news conference in Abuja that the proposed polling units will give registered voters the opportunity to cast their vote close to where they live. Pius Samuel completes the story.
In preparation for the 2015 general election, INEC say more polling units will be required. To achieve this, the Commission has proposed to increase existing units from 119,973 to 150,000 across the country. Commission Chairman says the proposed units will help ease the stress voters go through during elections.
About 150,000 polling units are required to ensure right sizing of our polling units based on the number of registered voters. There is no gainsaying the fact that there have been demographic shifts across the country since 1996, when the current structure was established.
INEC chairman is worried over the methods to be used in creating the new polling units, but he said the commission will take into consideration remote areas and difficult terrains.
From 1996 to date, there has been an exponential growth in Nigeria's population, and there have been severe demographic shifts resulting from new settlements in major urban centers. For example, the estimated population of the country was about 110 million in 1996, when the polling units were created. In 2006, after the national population census, the population of Nigeria was 140 million.
Only recently, there were suggestions in some quarters that the commission was favoring some parts of the country over others. But the chairman insists that the new unit will not confer any political advantage on a state or region.
The use of voting points has continued to elicit suspicion by political parties in the run-up to elections, with some even accusing the commission of secretly creating additional polling units, while some parties are even demanding that they be allowed to have polling agents at every polling unit. It is clear that to ensure the 2015 general elections are conducted under a more orderly and conducive atmosphere, thereby creating an environment for free and fair elections and consolidating the gains of the 2011 general elections, additional polling units must be created as described above.
He also assured Nigerians that INEC, under his watch, will remain non-partisan before, during, and after the 2015 general elections. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
APC and PDP councils are the ongoing inspection of the ballot materials used for the August 9 governorship election, engaged in fist-cuffs at the venue of the exercise. This followed disagreement on recording of the proceedings. The two lawyers later threw caution to the wind.
You cannot do anything. You can only arrest.
Can never. So you need arrest.
No, then you are. Get out!
The fight was, however, put under control as INEC was able to call the two warring parties to order.
I'm telling you sincerely, I did not see two lawyers fighting. We argue, that's our business. So I didn't see any fighting of about 10 scanners. And we are moving faster. Our colleague, I think they have only 2 scanners. And by the time 10 scanners are finished, you can understand that 2 scanners will not even be 1/3 or 1/5 of what they have done. And the idea is that they wanted us to wait until the 2 scanners finished, for instance, 1 unit.
Came with a cameraman, and the cameraman was on his duty, and suddenly the other party now said they didn't want the cameraman to cover them. So we made them to realize that the camera and scanning, they are the same thing.
We have come back to see ourselves as lawyers and to agree to make the work to be very fast. That's all.
Obviously caught on camera there. Away from that to Abuja, where retired military personnel on Wednesday staged a peaceful protest in Abuja to demand payment of their pension arrears. The ex-servicemen also vowed to disrupt the 2015 elections if the status quo remains. They, however, got assurance from the Minister of State for Defense, Musiliu Obanikoro, that the matter will be resolved soon. The reports.
These are ex-servicemen who have served Nigeria at different levels. But years after retiring from active service, they are now demanding for what they describe as their rights. They are determined to get what rightfully belongs to them and have decided to hold a peaceful protest, the 3rd this year. These men are keen to go all the way to press home their demand. With banners bearing different inscriptions, they are asking why they have not received the over 60 billion naira approved for their pension arrears.
The president has accepted your rate, made a public pronouncement that is going to be paid as far back as 2010 July. We have made presentations at National Assembly, sending delegations.
Every avenue has been exploited to see that we realize this. We only get promises to the attendant to up to today, nothing done. We've not been paid the review, the pension right review of 2009, which was to take effect from 2010. We haven't been paid. There are the radical groups that really feel this nation never listens until we carry arms. And once we carry arms, it proliferates. You never know it's going to be a victim. It's on that basis we keep on sticking to peaceful protests, and we're not going to get tired.
They are not just pensioners in Abuja alone. Many of them are from other states of the Federation. This man is from Ibadan. He has threatened to mobilize his fellow retirees to force governments to pay their benefits.
Make sure you get this matter down to the core. Let the government know. We said that we are ready for them. Not in 2015, we will battle ready for them. If they didn't pay all that money, we mean it. If the president can kill everybody in Nigeria with the pension, let him do so. If he the power to do so. But we are saying we need our money now. If he doesn't do it, if he closes his ear, it's left to him. But mark you, when you close your eyes, don't want to see your enemy, by the time good one will pass, you don't see them.
However, government has again reassured these patriots that it will look into their grievances.
Let me say that their grievances are receiving attention, and you can see that we stood there trying to understand them, trying to also have responded responsibly. And that is why we have seen them, they are calm, and they are talking to each other. If we have not responded responsibly, we won't see the kind of interface that just took place between us and them. We are working on it, and it will be sorted. This is a democracy. It's normal to have issues, and it is responsible. It is being responsible, attending to them.
For now, the ex-soldiers have agreed to give the authorities 1 month to fulfill the promise made, but say they will return to the streets if the results are unfavorable.
That's militant talking tough there. This is CoreTV News on the hour. After the break, we'll bring you a latest update on Oscar Pistorius after 6 months in trial into what was been described that he shot his girlfriend dead in the bathroom and mistaking him for intruder. We'll bring you details of that and other stories after this time out.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Glad to have you back. Enduring development will continue to be a mirage without any meaningful borrowing. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola made this known after inspecting the ongoing light rail project in Igbomo area of the state. Abiola Oluwole was there. His report is presented from our studios. The Debt Management Office recently published the debt profile of state in the country, placing Lagos as a state with the highest borrowings in Nigeria. Speaking to journalists after the inspection of the Lagos Light Rail project in Igbomo, Fashola says the borrowings are approved by the federal government.
The first bond that was taken during my tenure has been paid, the first tranche. I think the next one will fall due around 2016 or 2017. We are already making provision. The provision that will be there will be in excess of what will be needed to pay it. I've been to the House of Reps to say that we have a loan application with the World Bank for $600 million. We are the only sub-national, right, in Africa that has benefited from such a facility. Only Lagos.
He stated that the loans are used to power ongoing infrastructure developments in different parts of the state.
Where is the money going? This is where the money is going. So if the people of Lagos want rail, if they want to see a 10-lane highway on Badagry Expressway, if they want the work we're doing in Mile 12 into Ikorodu expansion to continue, if they want to see all of the developmental work that will add value to their life, that's the only way to finance it.
The visit is part of effort at evaluating the pace of work on the light rail project. Nigeria's health authorities said there is no single current Ebola case in the country. This, according to Health Minister Onyebo follows the discharge of the last patient under treatment at the Lagos isolation ward. The minister, however, says in a statement issued by his spokesman, Dan Umome, that a suspected case from Ife in Osun State is still under investigation. He added that the student of Obafemi Awolowo University has been quarantined after she was found to have made contact with the late Port Harcourt doctor at a function before his death. And as part of efforts to contain the spread of the dreaded Ebola virus disease, the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation and Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority kicked off a sensitization campaign for the people of Majidu in Ikorodu area of Lagos. Our correspondent Anita Fatiji reports.
The awareness campaign was aimed at enlightening the people of the community on how to identify carriers of the virus, how to avoid contracting the disease, and what to do in case of suspicion. The Deputy Director, Lagos Ministry of Health, Omaomi George, emphasized the need for people to be careful with their lifestyle.
It's just a way to ensure that people don't stigmatize. I think it's just one of the measures, but that doesn't mean that is the only thing we are going to be doing. We will keep on giving messages. We will keep on letting people know that yes, this is what we want or this is what we should be doing. But that is an extreme case, and we could get there if people. But I don't think we will get there. I think by the time you give people a message, they will respond. So there is no fear. We shouldn't fear that the government has said we will start to prosecute. I think people also will see with time, with the message, they will see the need to actually ensure that they don't, ostracize those people who already have the disease.
Member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Senai Agumbiade, advised the community to abide by the rules and regulations laid down by the state government in order to maintain a healthy society.
What is happening here is happening everywhere in the state by corporate bodies, by the government, by elected people, because the House of Assembly, Lagos State, actually mandated all its members to make sure that they raise the consciousness in their various constituencies. I've done in my constituency, some of the members have done it, some local government have done it, CCEC and Lamata, doing it today. The government of Lagos State is creating the awareness in media and the rest of it. So I think people are really becoming enlightened about the danger of Ebola.
However, the Lagos manager, Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, represented by Kayode Taiwo, stated the importance of the awareness campaign.
What we're trying to do here is to sensitize the community along the corridor of Mile 12 to Ikorodu, where we are having the BLT expansion project to sensitize them against the Ebola virus disease, to train them as it were, or teach them what to do and what not to.
The Baale of Owutu, Joseph Aluko, refused to be outdone.
People like the campaign, though we come to the CCC's compound, but I feel if this thing could be taken to the community, right away, it will be better. People feel this place is not conducive for them because it's too far to their community.
The gathering hails the campaign and recommends it for the benefit of other communities in the area. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We'll take another break on CoreTV News now. We'll return shortly with more stories. Stay with us.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly, and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
And outside Nigeria now, evidence suggests that Pistorius genuinely believed his girlfriend Steenkamp was still in the bedroom and that the person in the bathroom was an intruder, although that is irrelevant to the case, says Masipa. Pistorius sat crying as the judge began reading the lengthy verdict. The Olympian's trial in the death of his model girlfriend started 6 months ago, transfixing the world with graphic details of how he fatally shot Steenkamp. Before she rejected the premeditated murder charge, Masipa questioned why he fired not one, but 4 shots into the bathroom before he went to find his girlfriend. Masipa says the intention to shoot does not necessarily mean the intent to kill. Shortly before, Masipa cast doubt on witness testimony and said she believes media coverage contaminated testimonies. Now, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has reassured Iraq's new leader that there will be an international strategy to defeat Islamic State militants. Kerry on the Middle East tour says U.S. President Barack Obama will outline the strategy later. He praised Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi's plans to devolve powers to Iraq's minorities and reform the military. Militants overran the army in many parts of northern Iraq and gained backing from some disaffected Sunnis. Meanwhile, at least 9 people died in a series of car bombs in East Baghdad. The explosions happened minutes apart in Shia neighborhood of New Baghdad. At least 25 others were injured. Kerry made on an unannounced visit to the Iraqi capital Baghdad at the start of a tour of eastern capitals aimed at boosting military, political and financial support for the fight against the Islamic militants. Well, and that does it for CoreTV News on the hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you again.